Good morning, how are you today? Good morning to you. But for us, off on another adventure we go, and this has been one we've been looking forward to for weeks since we actually had the idea to go. We're on our way to Acadia National Park up in Maine. It's going to take us a couple days to get there, so today we're driving to Manassas and staying at Bull Run, where we had stayed previously when we was up in the DC area. Gonna spend a day there, and we got a couple other spots before we get to Acadia. But by looking at the internet, Andrea found out that this weekend, when we're supposed to show up, is right at peak of the fall color change. So it's going to be some wonderful colors when we get there. Seeing the leaves and everything, it's going to be just so nice. And I know you can tell that we love the color change, especially from our trip to the Blue Ridge Parkway. So on we drive. So with the long drive between the house and Manassas, of course we're going to break it up with a couple stops. And as you know, we love to get our stamps and our passport. And this is actually one not far from the house. This is Moores Creek National Battlefield. Cannot remember if it was a Revolutionary War. I think it was Battlefield. But it's about 45 minutes to an hour from the house. So nice little break up. We'll go here, do some walking. Definitely give them a chance to get out and hike, because they haven't been hiking, walking, anything since we was on the Blue Ridge Parkway. So definitely get out for a while, and we've got a couple other stops like that on the way. So we're here a little bit early, so we're waiting the next 15 minutes for the visitor center to open before we get out and enjoy the nice cool morning. All right, we have started the history trail here at Moore Creek. And by the first sign, we could see that this is from the Revolutionary War, and the battle took place in 1776. So February 21st. See, Andrea, she remembers those little small details that I missed out on. So another national military park with the spongy walking trail. So of course we love that. The girls are really excited, and it's a nice morning, and we are the only ones here except for the rangers, so should be pretty nice. Over here on this side, they have a lot of tents set up and a little display area and an actual tent out that way. Can't really see it that well, so they must be doing some kind of demonstration or fair this weekend. So pretty much reading this road right here was the last path not overtaken by the Loyalists, so they devised a trap to stop them from meeting the people in Wilmington and joining the British Army. So that's pretty much a marker telling you exactly what happened during this battle, and that this was the road that led to Wilmington, where the Loyalists were trying to meet up with the British troops, and they were stopped by the American soldiers. It was really nice to see an actual art depiction of how the battle was, how the camps were, and exactly where the war took place, and exactly, like you see right here, where we're standing right now. Y'all know I mess up my words a lot. Andrew pointed out that I said war when I was talking about that, but it was actually the battle that took place here at Moores Creek. So that was a depiction of the battle that was here, not the war. But you probably knew that, but I just need to make sure. Not sure how well you can see it, but you'll see like a little mound all the way around the perimeter. And that's where they dug it out to have a good vantage point for basically shooting the other side. And it's very neat that you come right here and you have this huge, enormous cannon right here. But the really cool part is actually this itty bitty lizard that's just right there watching us. And look, there's some more artwork showing exactly what I was talking about. They were behind the mounds and shooting, and we have a dancing shadow and an iPhone right here. Yeah. So looking at this depiction and the description here, it looks like that a lot of the Loyalists were actually Scottish Highlanders. And this, as you can read right here, for the Scott Highlanders, it would be the last broadsword charge in their long, proud history. So this was the end of their broadsword charges, where basically, the Loyalists found out that they were not going to win. Here's something for you to imagine. Right here in this swamp creek is exactly where the Loyalists had to go through to get to the area where the battle was, right up there. So, kind of crazy.
They were already having a bad one.
Yeah.
To go through that, and
Then they go up there and get shot. So this is one of the trails. Make sure to pick up a map if you come here, just so you know exactly how this trail goes, because it goes off in here. As you can see right across there, there's a couple of boardwalks going around here, and we come up actually to another monument. And here stood the bridge of the Revolutionary fame, where 1,000 patriots under Colonel Richard Caswell and Alexander Lillington defeated 1,600 Loyalists led by Captain McLeod. But thank you. Colonel James Moore commanded all the patriots who embodied to oppose the Loyalists under the Brigadier General Donald MacDonald. Donald MacDonald? That's a name. For any Star Wars fan, this would be a great national military park to come to. Just because it's all about, it's a trap! And that's what every sign says something about the trap. So you can just be Admiral Akbar all you want while visiting this place. There's the two babies. Of course, you know who's in the lead. And walking along one of those boardwalks I was talking about over here in the Swamp Creek area. By the sign right there, this battle was the turning point for the British and Loyalist plan for basically the whole American Revolutionary War. This battle told them basically the South, if you want to say, North Carolina and the troops down here, the Minutemen, the militias down here were too strong, and they refocused their entire campaign more northern because they were taking so huge defeats and losses here, because after this battle, what was left of the British Army went south towards Charleston, and the entire fleet was destroyed right outside of Charleston. So I think they've refocused their efforts more north, but we know exactly how that turned out too. Out of all of the national military parks we've been to, there's been a lot of monuments, but as far as I can remember, out of the ones we've been to, this is going to be our first. So let me show it to you. This monument, let me get my hand not shake, is also a grave. This is the grave of Private John Grady. He fell during this battle and was the only Whig killed in this battle. Like I said, we've seen a lot of monuments, but this is actually the first time I've seen that there's actually a grave.
He was the first martyr for North Carolina.
That's true, it does say that. He was the first martyr, the cause of freedom in North Carolina. So yes, right beside of this monument here is another plaque telling about all the monuments that were set here, including a Patron Monument honoring Private Grady, the only patriot to die at Moores Creek. Dedicated to the first president of the Monument Association, the Loyalist Monument, and the Stage Road Monument. And this is also the Women's Monument, which we haven't reached yet. And here's the memorial to Captain McLeod, Captain Campbell, and the 50 Highland Scot Loyalists in splendid courage assaulted with their claymores on the American entrenchments. Very nice monument indeed. As a little kid, I'll actually admit this, I always wanted to be Scottish. I always wanted to have the kilt. Not to wear it the way they did. I didn't know all that stuff when I was a little kid. Have the big claymore and be able to be, I guess, like all of them, thinking that it was really cool and everything. And well, I'm not Scottish, but I still think that the way they fought their battles was very honorable, and I don't know what else to say, but it is very cool. The layout of this national battlefield was completely different from what we saw at Cowpens and Kings Mountain. Different layout, different scenery, and definitely different elevations. Here it was almost completely flat through the whole thing, where at Kings Mountain, well, it was a Kings Mountain, it's a mountain, so yeah, it's very hilly. Cowpens was more of an open field, so
This one was also pretty swampy.
yeah, and this one was pretty swampy.
Because of the creek that runs through.
Yeah, it actually said back there that the Loyalists had to go through 70 miles of the swamps and the flooded terrain because it had been raining a lot whenever they were making their trek through here. So, been to 3 national battlefields, and all 3 have been completely different. Here is, if I stop shaking, the Women's Monument, and actually in front of it are 2 graves for Ezekiel Slocum and Polly Slocum. Not sure who they are, but if we can find out who they are, I'll let you know. Here we find out about Mary Slocum, who rode 65 miles to help the wounded on the battlefield. So we're not sure if these 2 are somehow related to her.
I'm sure they are. They have the same last name.
Yeah, they're pretty sure. But this monument was erected to the women of the Cape Fear who helped the wounded and served in basically getting everybody prepared and ready for the battles. So we're now on the Tar Heel Trail here at Moores Creek, and the sign back there actually gave us a little fact that actually corrects something I've always thought. Nickname for North Carolina is the Tar Heel State. I always thought that it was basically, used to be the roads and everything got so hot that people would get tar or walking through it with bare feet. Well, actually, it's for the people who used to use the pine trees around us making tar to make water, to help waterproof the, what was it? The ships. Thank you. Waterproof the ships that were made in the area using the trees, which actually, yeah, you can probably see a little bit of that. I never angled the camera like this with my phone, so I'm sorry. And yes, I'm stupid for believing that whole thing about the people walking through the hot roads and getting tar on their feet. I was a kid when I heard that. I don't know who taught me that, but still. You have those instances where you're told something when you're young and you believe it, and you find out a whole lot later that it's not true. Well, hey, don't talk about that one. But it happens to everyone. So we finished up here at Moores Creek. We've got everything packed up, got the girls some water. They're in there resting right now. So we're off to our next stop, which will be Virginia. But it was very nice to come here, see everything. We'll probably be back in February. I think it's the weekend of the 24th and 25th. We'll be doing a commemoration of the 242nd anniversary of the battle. So we'll definitely be making another trip back. Andrew also reminded me to say this. This park is a very dog-friendly park. Dogs are allowed everywhere except for the bathrooms and the visitor center. And on those, both the visitor center and bathrooms have very nice facilities. So definitely it's well maintained and kept up. And right in front of us is a huge recycle center. So we don't see those in many places, but definitely this is a recycle friendly place.
And it's paper, cans, and plastic.
Yeah, paper,
so
everything. It's
just
everything.
bottles.
And if you come here looking for your passport stamps, you can get all 3 of them in the front lobby before you enter the visitor center.
This visitor center has weird hours.
Yep, it's got weird hours. I think it's 9 to 5.
And like it's closed on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday or something. It's weird.
It's weird, so they make sure to leave that open where you can get your stamps still. Got the Turd, got Luxo right behind me. We have made our stop for lunch here at the Virginia State Line Visitor Center. We'd planned for basically some of our stops to just make a meal inside. So lunch today is going to be one of my favorites, which is the banana Nutella sandwiches. We also picked up some grapes last night at Lowe's Food. Yeah, I think it was Lowe's Food that we picked it up. But we're actually making pretty good time. The highways haven't been too packed, but we prefer the back roads, so it might be between here and our next stop, which I haven't decided if we're going to make it yet. There's another national military park just down the road from here. I don't remember the name of it, but we might go there. Just depends on what time it is. And as you can hear, Cora's barking a little bit, but yeah, it's time to take a break and eat some lunch. And like I said, Andrew's working her magic. She's been grilling up some banana Nutella sandwiches. Yummy. And grapes for a side. Petersburg National Battlefield. This is where we...
Head southeast towards Siege Road. In a quarter mile, keep left to stay on Siege Road.
Okay, she wants to talk a little bit. This is where we decided to stop at. It's about an hour from the State Line Visitor Center we were at. This is actually the battlefield where Ulysses S. Grant and Robert E. Lee faced each other. So definitely from a historical standpoint, it's somewhere where we were both interested in. And Andrea said that she looked at the pictures and it looked very nice here. So I'm going to do this before heading up to Manassas and stay at Bull Run for the night.